Today we're going to be talking about 3 mistakes that health educators make when crafting an irresistible offer. And a lot of times when health educators are seeking to build a business, it's like we make offers, we have an offer, a program, a product, a solution, a service, and we want to be able to add value. And if we have a bad offer, that's really like the core of the foundation of business is on having an irresistible offer. And a lot of people get this wrong. And while they might be trying to create content, they're trying to like get speaking engagements, they're trying to get consultation calls and do all these consultations, and they could be doing a host of different things, maybe even Facebook ads. But all of these marketing efforts will provide little to no fruits if your offer is weak, if your offer is not irresistible or attractive. So today we're going to be talking about these 3 mistakes that if you get these, if you avoid these mistakes that are some of the most common things that health educators make, then that's going to give you a solid foundation that when you have an awesome offer, then the ads start working better, then their outreach works better, the conversations, signature speech, all these different things, like the foundation of your business is going to be upon this offer. So the first mistake that we're looking at is how to make sure that like if you do this is going to make sure that your clients will fail, they will not follow through with your advice, and they're not going to really pay attention. So the first mistake is trying to be affordable instead of being valuable. People often, health educators will try to appease all sorts of people. They're like, I want my services, my products to be so affordable that everybody can afford them. And while that sounds noble and good and virtuous, what that actually does is it's distracting from being valuable. And value is really what you get paid for at the end of the day. And so competing on prices is going to be a race to the bottom. I actually like how Dan Kennedy, he puts it. He said that if you can't be the cheapest, there's no strategic advantage of being the second cheapest in the marketplace. And what that means is, like, when you're competing on prices, you have razor thin margins. Those margins, the profit, is what allows you to be able to invest in marketing, in mentorship, in strategic partnerships, in advertisement, and in building your team and having the equipment, the software, the tools, like whatever it is that you desire to be able to scale your impact, to be able to cover your expenses, to be able to hire employees, to expand your team, to be able to provide for your family. That's all going to come from the margins. If you're selling things at cost or close to cost, that's really a race to the bottom, and you don't have the resources to really prioritize or support them at the level that you are capable of. So if you can't be like Walmart cheap, like the cheapest out of the market, then being the second cheapest, there's no strategic advantage. So what do? Instead of trying to position yourself in the marketplace as being the most affordable and cheapest offer, position yourself as being a premium. Have a premium program that you're able to allow yourself to, and that puts you in a category of one, a category of your own. And how do you do that? It's by instead of trying to sell products, create an offer where you pick your price. And really, pricing is something that a lot of people don't understand. Pricing is not cost, like how much it costs you to deliver something. Pricing is the value, which value is purely perceptual. It's all based on what people perceive. So how are you able to charge higher prices that people are willing to pay a price for your health advice, and where it allows you to pick a number, and then the goal is to stack the value so that you are able to add and stack value so it's so high that people are deeply interested in buying. So I'll give you an example. Let's take this marker, for instance. If I'm going to sell this marker on Amazon or eBay online, right? There's probably tons of markers like this. There's a lot of dry erase markers. They might sell for like $1, $2 or something, but I'm not going to get a lot from this because as a product, this is a commodity. The only thing that could really differentiate this from all the other black dry erase markers is the price. So in commodities, selling one product, that is a race to the bottom. And it's always going to be a struggle in building a business. You have to do massive volumes, high volume with razor thin margins, and it's a lot of marketing. Whereas if I wanted to say sell this for, let's say $100, well, then my strategy would need to change. You're like, $100? How many of you would want to buy this for $100? Well, not yet, right? But how could I do that? Let's say that instead of just saying that I'm going to sell this marker, I'm going to say, you know, you not only get this marker, you're going to get a jumbo marker. It's not just the average thin little things. It's going to be a fat marker that gives you big streaks that people can see what you write from afar. I'm not only going to give you one, I'm going to give you two. In fact, I'm going to give you two of these black markers, and let's say I add a red, green, and a blue marker. So now we have a set. Now we're talking, we're starting to stack value here. But then the way you create an offer, now I'm starting to get closer to an offer. Now there's still some other people that do something similar, but now I could probably charge maybe around $8, $10. But let's say these are fat markers. They're really good. They last a long time. But what I'm thinking, what else would you need? What else would someone who's writing on a marker, using a marker for, benefit from? I'm going to give you a package of refillable ink cartridges that within just a few moments you could fill them up. So you could use them again and again and again. And this ink, we're gonna even throw in enough ink for, let's say, like 6 months of continuous use. But not only this, you're gonna get, it's like, what else would someone benefit who's using markers? Let me get them a dry erase board. Now this isn't dry erase board, this is a package received in the mail, but let's say it is a whiteboard. You can get a whiteboard, and this is a portable whiteboard that you could share and speak, and if I made it bigger, you'd get it bigger. But whiteboards like this maybe sell for like $30, $40 online. But you're gonna get the whiteboard, you're gonna get 2 black markers, 3 colored markers, and refillable ink cartridges for 6 months. So you're gonna get all of that. Now, what price can we start selling this for? Now we're getting closer to like maybe around $50 for all of these things, but I'm thinking, what else could I give you that would just help to set you up? So I'm thinking about what is complementary, what are other problems that you would have if someone was wanting to buy some markers. I say, all right, not only are you gonna get the marker, not only are you gonna get the several markers, I'm gonna give you some dry erase board marker wipes that are, they've got a solution that allows you to wipe erase markers without using that elbow grease, right? So it's really easy. Now, with this cleaning solution, let's say it's not just any cleaning solution that's toxic and harmful. This is healthy, toxic-free cleaning solutions without chemicals. So now these are special grade premium whiteboard wipes that help to, in fact, they not only don't have chemicals, they actually have essential oils that have a therapeutic effect to it that enhances your mind, helps you to think clearly while you're presenting. So even just by smelling it, it makes you smarter temporarily, right? So with this, you're gonna get all of these things together, and now we're starting to stack the value where things can start being up to like $70, $80, and I'm selling markers. And notice what made the difference is that I'm not just trying to compete on price by selling a product. By bundling these different products together, I'm able to create a value that far surpasses every other competitor who's only selling products out there. They just have a product, they don't have an offer. So when you're creating your programs, whether it's a coaching program, an online course, or whether it's physical products, supplements, learning to bundle together complementary solutions. At the end of the day, people don't buy products, they buy solutions to problems. Same thing with services. If you have health consultation services, when you learn to bundle them together, then this is going to help put you in a category of your own, where instead, when you look like everything else, they start trying to price check you and go price shopping and compare you to all these other competitors. But when you craft an offer, an irresistible offer correctly, then they have nothing to compare you to, because you're the only person who covers everything that they would need to be able to succeed with your solution. Is this making sense? So what happens is when people will buy whatever the price that you say, instead of trying to figure out, well, how much, instead of trying to cut back, like how could I provide the most at the least price, pick a premium price and say, okay, what bonuses would I need to include in an offer? What bonuses would I need to bundle together in order to increase, where the goal, the objective would be to make sure that the value of your offer is 10 times greater than the price that you're asking for. And when your value is 10 times the price, people will buy every single time. But people don't buy is when their perception, remember, value is in the eye of the beholder. So the market determines what's valuable, not you and I. So we don't just pick things that we're passionate about talking about, that we're passionate about solving. We want to pick things that the marketplace currently is purchasing or already values. What is worth to them? So when the value is, when the price is 10 times more than the value they receive, that's when they say, let me think about it, or let me go look around. I need to do some research, or it's too expensive, because it's really value is a perception, and that's what's going on in their minds. So one of the ways to raise your value and raise your price, like this is exactly what I've done with Dr. Kendra Lee and Razia. We've had them raise their prices and they end up selling more than ever before. Why? Because they're not just raising their price, they're learning how to raise their value by bundling together similar solutions, whether it's lowering high blood pressure, whether it's helping retired women lose weight naturally, or Razia, who's helping to reverse autoimmune disease. And by connecting these together, this is what people are willing to pay more for. People value specialization. So Reginae, she's someone we work with, and she's helping mothers to flatten their mommy tummy. And one of the ways that she's helping them is through habits. And she's not just teaching any habits, because she's specifically helping mothers to form healthy habits at home that fit into their busy mom lifestyle. People are willing to perceive higher value for custom tailored solutions that are provided for them. So when you're able to have something, this is why it's so important to pick a profitable person that you're going to serve, because when you pick an ideal client, then you can craft an offer with that ideal client in mind. Instead, what a lot of people do is they craft an offer, they build a product, and then they're like, okay, how do I find people to sell my stuff to? Well, if you're asking that question, you've already done it backwards. Instead, you want to identify who is a profitable person that I could serve. Who's someone who has big pockets, large discretionary income, go solve problems for rich people, because it's really hard to build a business selling to homeless people. And what you could do instead is by learning to find and solve valuable problems for people who have big pockets, deep pockets, and a big problem. Then based on who you're serving, you think about, okay, what would they value? What would be helpful for that person? And you craft an offer for them. So when you present your offer, they're like, wow, it feels like it's specially made for me, because it is. And people will pay for specialists. That's why generalists make far less money than specialists do in every field. So the first mistake is by not having the not specializing, or not trying to compete on prices. But how many of you are ready to 10x your value? Type value in the chat if you're ready to increase the value that you provide to the people. And sometimes that's with learning how to tell your story in an engaging way, whether that's through an origin story, whether that's through a signature speech, whether that's through story selling secrets that you're able to apply. These will help you to increase the value. That's why Dr. Kendra Lee was able to not only double her price in her coaching, but she went from selling one-on-one services for $1,500 to selling $3,000 boot camp pre-recorded coaching programs that that she's been able to sell again and again and again, because she learned how to increase her value. So the thing that we want to understand is that you don't price to fit in, you price to stand out. so many people are trying to price themselves based on what everybody else is doing. That's a sure way to be on the struggle bus for a long time. So instead, allow your pricing to differentiate you, because your pricing is part of your brand strategy. And a lot of times in marketing, if you do what everybody's doing, then you're going to get the results that everybody's getting. And you see the average in life, there's like 51 of divorces in America, 51% of marriages in America end in divorce. So if you want to have an average marriage, then you're looking at like divorce. If you look at the average health, it's not that great. So if you're looking at what are people doing averagely, then you're down for a really tough business journey. So instead of trying to match what your competitors or other people are doing and make all your decisions based on that, go find out what they're doing and do the opposite. And by doing the opposite, you're going to find better success. Zig when the market zags, and then you zag when the market zigs. And by being able to do this, this is what has helped our business to be able to stand out and dominate in a competitive field. So the first mistake is trying to be affordable instead of valuable. Really focus on the value, because that's what people pay for. Become a student of value. Study what makes things valuable, because if you misunderstand this, then selling is going to be very hard. Monetizing your knowledge is going to be difficult, but it's actually pretty simple to learn what people value. And it's the same across the board. So these principles will make a huge difference. So the second mistake that many health educators make, and when you make this, you'll realize that you're not losing clients because they can't afford it. You're losing them because of this second mistake. And that is that not using your offer to overcome objections. And what do I mean by that? A lot of times people will create an offer without any thought or contemplation about what are the concerns that people have relating to my solution. Because there are amazing opportunities when you're bundling bonuses together. You want to make your bonus to be able to address the core fears that they have. So it's encouraging to know that there are 3 core objections, not 30, not 13, not 300. There are really just 3 core objections, and each objection falls under one of 3 categories. You either have vehicle-based objections, which are like, these are doubts upon your specific vehicle of transformation. The reason I say vehicle is because you think about your ideal client has a destination they desire. Maybe they want to lose weight. Maybe they want to reverse their autoimmune disease. Maybe they want to get out of joint pain or whatever the case is. They have a desire, a dream, an outcome that they want. And your vehicle is going to be a new way, a unique solution, a new opportunity that they have to be able to solve this. So in the weight loss industry, they have people who are trying like Weight Watchers, or maybe they're trying the keto diet, or they're trying the carnivore diet. And these are all vehicles that they do to be able to change their health. And you might say, hey, these fad diets aren't working because they don't address the toxins. If you want to lose weight, you have a toxicity issue. So now you've switched them from all of these diets that they have, and you're like, you could exercise till you're blue in the face, but if you don't address the toxicity in your body, then you're not going to be able to release the weight that you're looking for. So you have to shift their perspective to see the new way of weight loss that actually works. Your vehicle of transformation, your vehicle of changing their life is going to be through some sort of detox. And even if in the detoxing, there's a lot of different ways to detox. So you pick one proprietary process. This is your program's process, and where it's like maybe there is a colon detox, or you have a cellular detox, or maybe you have a juicing detox. They're not all the same. So when we were selling our cellular cleanse, we would say like, hey, this cellular cleanse is not a colon cleanse. It's not going to make you go to the bathroom more. It's a gentle cleanse, but it cleanses every cell of your body. It's the world's first and only full body nutritional cleanse. And then when you do go to the bathroom, it's just going to release drastically more toxins through your urine. And by contrasting it with what other people have heard of or might be afraid of, then it's able to be fresh in their mind. We're like, okay, this is not that. Your goal is not to be like everyone else, but to find people or other methodologies that you can contrast against. Because really all perception is based on contrast. It's based on a point of reference. So by learning how to compare or contrast your offer, not as something that's better than other people. You don't want an improvement offer because you want to position your offer as something entirely different from everything else. And then by having a new way, a new vehicle, a new opportunity type offer, that is going to drastically separate yourself from competition. There might be other people selling something similar, but they're not. But you can find differences between what you teach, what you believe, what your process, and you pick something, you highlight, and then you build your message around that new way, showing them that by understanding this key thing, this is what's going to help you to succeed in getting rid of your joint pain or reversing your type 2 diabetes or whatever the transformation is that you want to create. So that's the first vehicle. So some vehicles, let's say that you're teaching people how to reverse their disease through plants, through herbs that heal. Now, some people, a vehicle-based objection would be like, well, do plants actually work? Are they actually effective? Or do they need to be, maybe it's like drug medication is the only way to do it, or surgery is the only way to do it. If I believe that surgery and medication is the only way to address health complications, do you think I'm going to be interested in your plant-powered program for reversing my disease? Yes or no? Absolutely not. So that's a vehicle-based objection. Or let's say you have a disease reversal program, and my belief is, oh, my disease is incurable, and doctor says I'll have it for life. It's purely genetic. So my mom had it, my dad had it, my siblings have it, so I'm just going to die from it too, right? Or let's say like arthritis. We have someone on the call, Kathy here. She had arthritis in her early 20s, and her mom had it, her dad had it, her siblings had it, and she had it in her 20s. And they were told, oh, it's genetic. So her siblings believed for years, oh, my arthritis, it's just genetic and that's what I have. But then she met her eventually to be husband, and he was like, wait, arthritis can be reversed. You just change your diet. And now if she doesn't believe that's possible, then she's not going to want to accept that new diet that was recommended to her. But she chose to believe, and guess what? She's been arthritis-free for decades. And but that is a vehicle-based objection. It's hereditary. So in your offer, you want to find bonuses that are able to address those specific objections. So two other objections is like internal-based objections. These are fears that people have about themselves. Maybe they're like, I am not consistent. These are like self-doubts. Like first, the way that the brain makes decisions, and they always go in these three orders. It's, does it work? That's a vehicle. Can I do it? That's the internal. And do I have the resources to do it? That's external. Resources like time, money, energy, or spousal support, family support, things of that nature. So if you've ever been on a sales call and someone's like, I need to go talk to my spouse, that's an external objection. That means that they are 2/3 of the way sold. And literally our brain goes in this decision, actually for all decisions. One thing that I like about selling, one reason I'm so passionate about persuasion is because when you understand the science of influencing people's buying decisions, you understand the science of all decisions, whether that's influencing your clients to even to change from an unhealthy habit to a healthy habit. It's going to be through vehicle. Does your advice work? Internal, well, can I do it? Am I consistent enough? Am I worthy enough? Is this good? Am I good enough to do this? And then external is like, well, do I have the time? Do I have the money? Is like healthy? Like if people are saying like eating healthy is expensive, well, that's an external objection. So what you could do is you can one, craft your signature speech around these. But two, you can include bonuses, like an internal based bonus. So if someone's saying, I'm not really accountable, like I'm not consistent, then you have a bonus in your offer stack about accountability coaching, so that there's check-ins, there's accountability coaching. You come on, so that it renders your inconsistencies unnecessary. I was talking with Regine, and she has an offer helping mothers to flatten their mommy tummy, and she had in there about habit mastery, and part of her bonus was habit mastery for moms. And the reason why is because she's showing that, like, look, when you learn the science of forming a habit, then if you've ever tried to break an unhealthy habit, you know how that iron grasp, that vice just holds you from breaking free, right? And everybody's had an unhealthy habit they've tried to break. But imagine when health becomes your habit. Imagine when you learn how to consistently develop the habits so that doing the right thing, doing the good thing that's for you, is actually easier than doing the wrong thing. So if you try to deviate from the healthy habit, it's actually hard to do it because habit made it second nature, made it natural. So no longer are you trying to will yourself to change. No longer are you trying to force yourself to do what you don't want to do. Habits make change automatic. Habits make change lasting. So in our program, one of the things that you're going to get in Ray Janae's program, you're going to get habit mastery for moms. And you can see that a bonus like that helps to overcome the fears. Oh, I'm not accountable. I'm not consistent. I'm not able to do this. I've tried things and I've broken. And she's able, again, make a difference. She's like, the reason why so many people struggle with their weight loss goals is because they weren't taught how to form habits that last, because they weren't actually taught how to make the habits that matter most. And because this isn't a part in most trainings, that's why it's not your fault. It's this new way is missing. And now, as you can see, there's a contrast which overcomes the objection. It's like, what makes you different from other people? If they're asking that question, you've already lost. Like, this is what I teach my clients when I'm coaching health educators to either craft a signature speech or to come up with irresistible offers that people are willing to pay a premium for their health mentorship. Then what I'm always doing is looking at, let's handle these objections in advance. Let's be intentional. The decisions you make will be to resolve these concerns before they ever become expressed, which is very different than most sales trainers. A lot of health educators, when they come to me, they're like, well, how do I address I can't afford it? How do I address I need to think about it? How do I address I need to talk to my spouse? And a lot of these objections, they don't have to come up when you craft your irresistible offer correctly and when you craft your signature speech in a way that addresses them in advance. Is this making sense? Type value in the chat if this is connecting the dots for you so far. So a lot of health educators, they handle objections like a firefighter. They wait for the flames to be raging, to be expressed, and then they go in there and they try to put out the flames and these fires, and they try to address all these concerns. Where instead you want to address these objections more like a smoke alarm that is going to resolve it before it happens. You catch the fire before it becomes expressed. When you do that, it's far easier to contain. So I'll show you an example of what this looks like. Now, on Skills Unlimited, I have a program that is, I have this program. Skills Unlimited is an AI studio that allows you to craft irresistible offers. And what you do is, all you do is you answer a couple questions, and when you do, it's going to help you to be able to, we have several tools on crafting offers, but I'll show you this example. And then why this is powerful is Skills Unlimited is our AI studio that's specifically designed to help holistic health educators to monetize their knowledge online. And here's an example of an offer that I went through with one of my highest paying clients, Razia, and this is literally the offer that got her first $3,000 paying client within 10 days of joining our accelerator program. So while the words are a bit fuzzy on Zoom for those who are watching live, they won't be fuzzy in the recording, so I apologize for that. But I'll read to you what you can kind of see. So what we have here is we have the problem that it's solving. So her audience is busy professionals, helping them to reverse autoimmune disease. Her new way is her vehicle is going to be about using plants that heal and herbs that heal. So the core offer is her coaching program that she wants to charge $3,000 for. And the program name is the Autoimmune Reversal Mastery. So this is for busy professionals who struggle with autoimmune disease symptoms. And then we keep looking at like a vehicle bonus is, let's say they're skeptical about natural healing methods. So what do? We give them a program that's 21-day herbal healing jumpstart. So that's helping them to get clear on jumpstart, doing it right, knowing what herbs to take at the right order. And we helped her to craft a story, which I discovered in her past. She was taking some herbs that were helping her to reverse her autoimmune disease, but then she stopped one, and then it started coming back. Then she got mentorship and guidance and realized that the herb that she stopped was actually the thing that was helping her the most. So she started doing that. So that story really shows that you can do the right things in the wrong order, wrong amount, or if it's not implemented correctly, then you can have all the herbs that might be available for free online somewhere, but not knowing how to correctly apply them can make all the difference. So notice how that story increases the perceived value of this program. So that is that is a vehicle-based bonus. Another one is, like, let's say the clients are lacking confidence in their ability, confidence with their consistency. So the payoff that she has is to develop unwavering belief in their body's healing, unwavering belief in their transformation change. Program is Mindset Mastery for autoimmune warriors, and we can like modify slightly to fit her brand and messaging. And you could see like for the pieces, which I'll talk about pieces in a moment, but this Mindset Mastery training could come in Audio Meditations workbook, but this isn't what she's selling. This is what that she's showing how to develop unwavering belief, unwavering confidence in their healing journey. And a lot of people want that confidence. So here's external, is that maybe they struggle with unsupportive family and social environments. So what she's able to do is she could provide a community of a supportive healing ecosystem of other clients, a community of people on a similar journey too. What's cool about this is within a few seconds, you have an irresistible offer that bakes in all of these things that I'm teaching you about crafting irresistible offers that we've been able to use to sell $3,000 programs again and again and again. And these principles have been even the same structure that we follow for these crafting these irresistible offers are the same ways that health educators have, using these same principles, been able to sell millions of dollars online. And so with Skills Unlimited AI Studio, this is our proprietary software we designed for health educators. This shows how to how they're able to actually how they could use this. So in the next thing that we want to talk about is how objections, if you think about, there's like a brick wall between your clients and your prospect and getting the results that they're looking for. So they have this brick wall, and on this brick wall there's objections like money, or they failed in the past, or trust issues, or they've struggled with things before. So what your offer becomes like a sledgehammer to those objections and concerns, and it's able to get rid of their objections. And when your offer is strategically addressing those buying concerns, instead, what you effectively do is you take the reason why they'd say no to you and you make it the reason why they will. They choose to buy with you because your offer, the bonuses you're including, actually addresses excuses of why they wouldn't buy in the first place. So you see this meta level of like support and guidance. And plus, you're solving the problems that they find valuable. So that makes it helpful too. How many of you want to learn how to turn objections into offers? Type offers in the chat below if you want to be able to do that. So the second mistake that a lot of health educators make is not using your offer to overcome objections. Now, the third mistake, if you do this, your prospects will be really too overwhelmed to buy, and that is number 3 is thinking that your offer is your pieces, but your offer is not your pieces. And what do I mean by that? The pieces are when you are so focused on, like when we're making this offer stack, it may sound like I'm stacking pieces, but I'm not. I'm actually stacking payoffs. I'm stacking bonuses and values, benefits that they're going to experience. So what are some of the pieces? They're things like you're going to get 8 coaching sessions when you join my program. You're going to get 5 visual modules. A lot of people, health educators, they come, they're like, Enoch, how many hours of video do I need to provide in my course in order to charge this price? And I'm like, you're thinking about this entirely wrong. People, when they're paying a premium price, they're not buying hours of video. They're not even buying hours of your time or your session. One of the biggest mistakes a lot of health educators think that if they're going to increase their price, that means that they have to increase the hours of their time that they give up on one-on-one sessions. But that's not the case. It couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, I invested in a $55,000 mastermind that in this whole program, it was packed. There's like 150 people in there, and we would only get 1 hour with the coach throughout the whole year, because we weren't paying for the hours of his time. We're paying for the results. And that's what you want to understand, is that when people are buying, premium buyers are not paying for your time. They can care less about how many hours of your time they get. They want to buy their time back so they can spend it with their loved ones, so they can spend time with the people that they care about. That's what they're looking for. So what you want to do is you want to find out how can you deliver your results faster, because fast is better than free. People are paying for speed, and that will increase the perceived value. Think about it this way. If I could show you how to monetize your knowledge or to craft an irresistible offer, and I could do it in 70 videos or a 70-page workbook, would you rather me sell you a 70-page workbook or 70 videos for you to go through? Or if I could show you how you could craft an irresistible offer in a 7-minute video and in one AI tool where you answer a couple questions, hit a button, and boom, you've got an irresistible offer that's tailored to your specific business. Which would you rather pay for? Would you pay for more so you get 70 videos? Or would you pay more because you can get it done in a few minutes rather than hours and hours of your time? You see that it's not the pieces that people are after. And when you focus on the pieces, people aren't going to buy. So instead, you want to focus on the payoff. You want to focus on what is the transformation that they're able to experience. What do they get through working with you? So they want the energy to play with their grandkids. They want to like who they see in the mirror. They want to be able to fit in their favorite clothes. These are the types of things that the people are paying for. But if you focus on the wrong thing, they're not going to be interested in what you're doing. So don't think that you're stacking a bunch of pieces and you're there to just tell them all the stuff that they get, because it doesn't work like that. So at the end of the day, you're not selling a ticket. There's a lot of language that's like high ticket coaching, right? But it's not the ticket that they're actually buying. You're not selling a ticket in the airplane. And if you look at the process to get, let's say you're selling the destination, you're selling the Hawaii, you're selling the beach, you're selling the tropical experience that they get to have. But if you're focusing, imagine if I was trying to sell you a trip to Hawaii and I'm telling you it's like, oh, you're going to wake up in the middle of the night, you're going to fly on a plane at midnight, your eyes are going to be red, and when you get on the plane, you're going to sit for like 8 hours while there's little kids in the back kicking you, and some babies are crying a few aisles down, and you're going to be all clustered together really close next to like big sweaty people that you don't know, and you're going to do that for a few hours. And imagine if I tried to sell you your destination like that. How many of you would be like, yeah, sign me up for that trip. I'll take 2. In fact, I'll bring my whole family on that misery bus. No, that's not what's going to happen, right? But this is what health educators do when they focus on all the videos, all the worksheets, all the courses, and all the things that they get when they buy. When they're focusing on pieces, when they're focusing on the process, when you're focusing so much on like, here's 8 laws that you have to change, 8 new massive habits you've got to shift in order to even begin to think about healing. When you put before people an array of all this stuff to do, it's exhausting and it's overwhelming and it stresses out your clients and they don't want to buy. So instead, what you want to do is you want to focus on one step, one methodology, make that your new way, build your offer around that new way, and let your offer help them implement that. Emphasize the ease and simplicity, emphasize the payoff, like the ease and simplicity compared to other competitors and other things that they would otherwise do. And as you're able to share with them how great their life is going to be when they get to the Hawaii, the destination that they desire, to when they create their dream outcome. This is where people start buying. They're paying for the transformation. And to understand that if the transformation isn't clear, the transaction will not clear. They're paying for the transformation. They're not paying for the little pieces that we often think in the program. So if you look at, like, imagine if IKEA sold their programs with the billboard of all these disassembled, unassembled furniture on their advertising. And if you flip through the magazine, you see all these pieces like all strung out from out of the box. Like, if you're going to show me a pile of IKEA furniture parts, I'm going to say no. But when you show me the final image of the desk or the chair or the room once it's assembled with all this awesome furniture, that makes people want to buy. They're not buying the pieces, they're buying the payoff. What is a payoff? It's the finished desk, it's the chair, it's the beautiful bookshelf. That's what people want. So what we want to do is learn to stop selling your features and start selling their future. Paint the picture of what their future will look like as a result of your program. Help them to vividly see, to feel, to experience in their imagination what their future can be like. And that's what IKEA does, is sell furniture. Now, I'm not telling you don't include the steps in your coaching program, but some things you don't want to express until after they've paid you and they're in your coaching program. Then you're able to share with them more about the pieces and the nutrition and the exercise plans and other things that you have, your process. What I'm saying does not change your process at all. It only changes your presentation. In your presentation, you want to emphasize the problem that they're facing, the pain that they experience without you, and then the payoff and the pleasure and the possibilities of what their future holds with you. The most valuable tool of persuasion in your tool belt is a paintbrush. And with it, you're able to do what I like to call future painting. You're using language that is showing them, you're painting what their future will look like. And you can say, when you're able to use my pain cream for your joints and bones, imagine being able to play ball with your kids. Imagine being able to open up jars without pain. When you start learning how to recover, how to support your body's ability to heal, you start being able to take on new hobbies, old hobbies that you used to not do. Like, we have a client who he picked up skiing, and he's a black diamond skier in his late 60s because he got on our products and his bones started to work better. There's less atrophy. He started building more muscle, and he didn't get as tired as much. So he loves going down these black diamond skiing in his 60s. He has more energy than his daughter and her friends in their early 30s, and he's so grateful because his health. It's not so much getting the bones and joints back, the mobility back. It's what does that mobility do for them? It's being able to pick up hobbies that you stopped because your health wouldn't allow you to, right? So by painting the picture and even asking the question like, what new hobbies will you do when your body's free from pain, when you have the mobility again? And then allow them to imagine and see a future that is better than the present. That's what people are interested in paying for. You focus on the destination. So when you're presenting your offer, when you're packaging your offer, you're not just creating a list of pieces. Now, like logistically, as far as fulfillment sides, yeah, internally with you, your team, your coach, whatever, we do address how these will be delivered, but that's not the things we emphasize on the sales call or in sales material or message or when presenting offers. If you emphasize the pieces, people will be so overwhelmed and exhausted, and they will have no interest in buying. And you think that maybe your message isn't right or your audience isn't right, they weren't qualified, when really you just don't have an irresistible offer yet. But when you start applying these, when you avoid these 3 mistakes, you will find that people are going to be a lot more excited to say yes. They'll want to join your program, and because you've intentionally crafted it. So let's recap what we've covered. 3 mistakes when crafting irresistible offers that will cost you a fortune. Mistake number 1 is trying to be affordable instead of being valuable. When you focus on value, people buy again and again and again. When you focus on being affordable and cheaper, then one of the reasons why people don't buy is because you're so cheap, and it creates a lot of concerns in people's minds. So number 2 is not using your offer to overcome objections. There is massive opportunities, expensive opportunities that are being wasted when you are crafting your offer without a direct, intentional, strategic design to address reasons why people say no. And you give them reasons why to say yes through the offer that you present. And number 3 is thinking that your offer is your pieces. But your offers is not your pieces. The offer is a payoff. With the offer, like a lot of times I'm asking people, okay, who do you help and what's your offer? And people will tell them, well, I've got this workbook and they get these 8 sessions of my time. We got this 13-week coaching program. And I'm like, look, that is not your offer. Your offer is the transformation that they get. And if you're struggling to figure out the difference between your pieces and your offer, answer this question. What will your clients be able to do after going through your program that they were not able to do before? And if you can think about what are all of, you could talk to ChatGPT, you could use our Skills Unlimited. Our Skills Unlimited is really good at helping you to identify what's the payoff, what's the pieces that you can deliver it, what are the bonuses, and strategically taking your business, your audience, your gifts, and really putting it together in an irresistible offer that our clients have used to sell their coaching programs again and again. So, and if you'd like my help to be able to craft an irresistible offer, this is what we do day in, day out with me and my team, helping health educators monetize their knowledge online. And what we do is every month we go through high income health expert challenge. And in there you can grab a VIP ticket. It's only $49. And you can come on Zoom, ask me questions, and we could talk about your business, talk about your offer, talk about your audience. This is where Dr. Kendra Lee was able to get lots of clarity on who to serve. She found retired women and what problems she would solve. She got really clear on that, and then she started being able to sell shortly after that. So if you want to craft an offer, you want me to give you feedback on it, if you'd like to ask me anything you'd like, find out more how I can help, then just go to highincomehealthexpert.com, or you can comment the word offer down below, and we'll be happy to help support you. But until then, subscribe and like the videos. I release a new video every Tuesday answering your questions, helping you to monetize your knowledge online. I'm on a mission to be able to empower a movement of health educators to getting their message to the masses so you could save the lives of the people you're called to serve. I know the world will be a better place because your light has shined through the darkness, and I want to be there to help you to make your light seen so you're no longer a best kept secret, but you're able to reach and speak to the people you're called to serve. But until next time, remember, have a great day and God bless.